Today we are working on the '07 Ford 500, and right now we are back probed into the crankshaft position sensor.
We're coming down here to the crankshaft position sensor, which is unplugged. It is up there, as you can see it. We are right now key off, engine off with 0 volts.
Here's the wiring diagram for our crankshaft position sensor. Right now we're back probed into the dark blue wire, which is our 5-volt power from the PCM, and we're back probed into the gray wire, which is our returning ground back to the PCM.
Key on. Key is now turned on, and we have our source voltage of 1.47. All right.
Here's our RPM signal while cranking with the crankshaft position sensor unplugged. As you can see, we have 0 RPM signal coming back to the engine. Here's the picoscope data from our crankshaft position sensor. Here you can see 3 distinct voltage spikes, indicating 1 revolution of the crankshaft. Each spike means cylinder 1 is at top dead center, and you can see the little spikes in between, which indicate our other teeth on the crankshaft as well. Here's our wiring diagram for our camshaft position sensor. We are right now back probed into the dark blue and the orange wire, dark blue being our 5 volts from the PCM, and our orange wire being a shared ground with the power steering pressure switch, our engine coolant temperature sensor, our AC clutch cycling pressure switch, and our fuel rail temperature pressure sensor. Right here we have our picoscope data coming from the camshaft position sensor. This is a single tooth sensor. We can tell this is a single tooth sensor because you can see those small voltage dips in between each uptick of the sensor, and that is each of the coil packs firing in between one singular revolution of the camshaft.
Okay, so we've got the Pico obviously hooked up to the camshaft, and now we're gonna do 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000 RPM. Starting now. 1,000. Ooh. You can see the voltage start to go up. As you can notice, everything got real close. 1,500. So as you can see, it's starting to get even closer together. 2,000. Ooh, voltage is now going up all the way to 6. 3K. Whoa, that was sitting pretty. Look at that. All right. And then now we're gonna just go back down to the normal idle. All right, now what we're gonna do is go ahead and just crank it over. Go ahead. Good.
Here at idle, we can look at our cam and crank data here on the picoscope. We can recognize our consistencies and inconsistencies within the pattern and voltage spikes, as well as our electromagnetic interferences. As you can see here on our picoscope data, as our engine RPM increases, so does our frequency and amplitude of our signals. As we start to increase our RPM here to 2000, you can start to see our frequency getting a lot higher, filling the screen up with red as our sine waves group closer together. And lastly, right here at wide open, you can see our frequency and amplitude on both sensors greatly increasing to our soft limiter here of 3500 RPM.